everybody. Week number 2. This week we're going to focus on core, as it is almost, I'd say, just as important as our foundation that we did last week. So today we're going to be going through 2 rounds of exercises. We're going to have that 3rd round of advanced moves if you want to join us for that. We're going to start with our warm-ups, some jog in place, straight arm jacks, and knees to elbows. I'm going to show some ways to modify this first as we get going into it. So we're going to start with our warm-ups. So jog in place. So if you're able to, let's just get jogging in place. If you aren't comfortable jogging with that, we're going to show a quick modified way to do this. And so that's just quick steps. So as we're sitting here, let's just get going. We're going to get that little bounce going. But we're going to try and stay on our toes during this. Get your arms in with it too, because all of this is going to get our heart rate going. We're going to start sweating a little bit, but we're also going to start engaging those muscles in our core and the rest of our body to loosen up a little bit. While this is core focused, we want to make sure that we're keeping our core engaged. So tight abs, tight lower back, and really kind of focus on those muscles deep within. So, and then if you're in a wheelchair, I'm going to show this from a seated position. We're going to sit here and we're going to be doing our arm swings. So it's just to get our shoulders activated, our chest, our back, and we're really trying to get that cardiovascular work going. So exaggerate this a little bit if you have to, if you want to. Really get those arm swings going. But that's how our warm-up's going to go. All right, let's start jogging it out. Going for 30 seconds here. And then we're going to go into straight arm jacks. For modified, it's called a step and cheer. And so we'll show that one as we're doing this, and then arms up for wheelchairs. So for any of our wheelies out there, we're going to arms up. All right, we got 10 more seconds here. We're just jogging this out. All right, next we're going into straight arm jacks. So very simple, feet out, arms straight up. If you're not comfortable doing this fast of a motion and you want to do a modified version, we're going to go into step and cheer. So step, cheer. Very simple. With each step, arms are going up. But we're going to get right back into it. So keep going. 10 more seconds. We're going to go knees to elbows. This is a fast motion. Keep your core tight. But we're just going to get moving into this. So knees to elbows, right? Moving quick. If you're not comfortable doing this one, we're going to show a modified version of a seated crunch. So as you're sitting here, we're going to come down, over, and alternate your sides during this, okay? So we're just going to keep moving through this, but we're going to get back into it. 5 more seconds. We're going right back into jogging in place. All right, here we go. Just jogging in place. I know my cardio is going up a little bit. I'm breathing a little heavier. Sweat is starting. So today we want to have our water, a chair or a bench to sit on. We want to have a towel with us. And you notice I have the pillow. So we want to have that throw pillow. As we get into that in round 2, we'll show some of the moves we can do with that. All right, we got 5 more seconds. And we're going right into that straight arm jacks again. All right, here we go. Ready? Switch it up. Straight arm jack. You're doing great. Hope you guys are getting that sweat going like I am. I'm feeling it by the end of this. My core is going to be tight and fatigued. I have a nice little pillow, nice little pool of sweat underneath me. Now, 5 more seconds, and we're going to switch over that. Knees to elbow. So this time we're going to go opposite side for those of us who are standing. All right, here we go. Now, core is something, as an elite athlete and somebody who wants to be very independent, we need to focus on core because this has foundational exercises. It keeps us confident, keeps us able to be independent and overcome the challenges that we have every single day. So core is very important. These are things that I do 4 to 5 times a week, depending on my training. All right, good job, guys. Let's take a minute break, grab some water. We're going to get into round 1. So during this next exercise, in round 1, everything that we do during this exercise, during this round, is seated. So grab yourself a bench or a chair to sit in, or use your wheelchair. As you see, we have tight core with straight arms, tight core arm extension, so our arms are going to be moving back and forth away from our body, and straight arm core twists. All of those are going to be from that seated position. So grab your chair, grab your bench, and you will want your throw pillow for this. If you are comfortable using a weight instead of that throw pillow, by all means, grab a 2 or 5 pound weight. During this entire exercise, we're going to be wanting to focus on our core, keeping our abs tight, keeping our back tight, and keeping those deeper muscles nice and tight during this time. So these moves are going to be a little bit slower and really focused on engaging that core. All right, grab a seat, grab your pillow. We're going to start tight core, straight arms. So pillow out in front of us, feet nice and flat on the floor in front of us. And here we go. So during this, we're just going to take our pillow and go straight up, right above us. As we're going up, breathing in. And then as we come down, we're breathing out. During this exercise, we want to go nice and slow. So we're going to do 4 rounds of 30 seconds each. So up, breathing in, down, breathing out. When you go up, you almost want to, stretch those core muscles and tighten your back up. So you almost want to get into that arched back. We got 5 more seconds here, and then we're going to switch into tight core arm extensions. All right, as we come down, hold the pillow out in front of us. And then as you're breathing in, we're extending our arms, breathing out, we're contracting. So this entire time, we're keeping a tight core, tight abs. Make sure you're engaging that. Like I said, if you're comfortable using weights here, I would simply go with a 2 or a 5 pound weight. But even here, I'm using the pillow. It's what I feel comfortable with. 5 more seconds. And then we're getting that straight arm core twist. So with this one, our arms are going to be out in front of us, and we're twisting side to side. Make sure you keep that core engaged. When you come back to that neutral position with your arms straight out in front of you, that's where you want to take a second and just pause it. Make sure you keep your elbows locked as you have that weight out in front of you, that pillow out in front of you. The farther away from your core that you can get it, the more you engage your core. Well, 5 more seconds, and we're going back in to the second round of this session. Going to tight core, straight arm. So taking our pillow, going up above our head, arch your back a little bit, stretch the core, and come back down. Move back up. Breathing in on the way up, breathing out on the way down. Keeping that core engaged. You guys are doing wonderful. Five more seconds. Last one, and on this one, arm extension. So breathing in and out. Go nice and slow on this. Make sure you keep your core engaged. Five more seconds, and then we'll switch to straight arm core twists. All right, here we go. Remember to pause in that neutral spot. You guys are doing great. So whether you're playing with your grandkids, or whether you want to go get your own groceries, get back to work, or complete that first 5K, core is one of the most essential groups of muscles that we often neglect and don't spend enough time even thinking about. Core is something that a group of muscles that we should really spend a couple days a week. Even if you're not doing sit-ups and crunches, all right, back to tight core, straight arms above us. Even if you're not doing those crunches and those planks, which I think are some of the most vital exercise routines that you can do, exercises you can do. These are just other variations and ways to do and engage that core to increase our independence and our confidence and our mobility. All right, 5 more seconds and we'll get into extensions. All right, bring it in and out. Remember to keep that tight, that core. Engage those muscles. 10 more seconds. Last one. Going back into those twists. We got one more round of these 3 exercises and then we'll move into round 2. Round 2 is a variation of standing and seated exercises, but we will not need the bench for the seated part. We will be going onto the floor. All right, last one, and back to straight arms up above our head. Stretch that core on that upward motion. Ten more seconds, and we'll go into extensions. And bring it in. After this next set of twists, we're going to grab some water, take a minute to relax, maybe take a minute to stretch. So arms up above your head, maybe do some oblique stretches. All right, here we go, twisting. I'll show you all those quick stretches we can do during this 1 minute break. But first, let's grab some water. During these twists, we want to make sure that we're moving at the waist and at the core, keeping our arms as straight as possible in line with our shoulders. All right, last one. Good job, guys. That's the end of round 1. So round 2 again, core twists. So what we want to focus on, grab some water here first. I'm going to talk about this for a second. Round 2 is your reach and pull, seated twists, and knees to elbows. Make sure you have room on the floor that you can do some of these seated exercises. So reach and pull is a very slow exercise where we're going to be reaching up above our head, focused on our obliques. So as we're standing here, we're going to reach up, stretching those obliques, and then we're going to pull down. If you're in that seated position, Daniel's going to take a second to demonstrate that. If you would, please. For our seated twist, we're going to grab our throw pillow again. We're going to come down to the ground. We're going to keep seated, feet on the ground, knees slightly bent. We're taking our pillow, we're dropping it on one side. We're going to come touch the other side, come back, grab our pillow, move it to the side, come touch the other side, grab our pillow, and back. Do 4 rounds, 30 seconds. Knees to elbow, we're back up on our feet for knees to elbow. Similar to our warm-up exercise, but a lot slower. So as we're sitting here, we're bringing it, we're focusing on tightening our core, bringing our knees to our elbows, we're back out. And this time we're stretching up, reaching for the roof, reaching for the ceiling, and we're coming back down. We're gonna do that same way, both sides. We got 2 rounds for each side, left and right. Same way with the reach and pull. We're gonna focus on one side during 1 round. All right, I'll go back to this side. Now, during the last session, I mentioned about, I was gonna show you some stretches that we can do in between rounds. If your core is tight and you're feeling that fatigue, something we can do is just stand nice and tall, arch our back, you can reach straight up. If you want, you can lean side to side, whether you're seated or standing. Very simple exercises we can do. If you're feeling it in your back, if you feel like you're isolating your back more than your abs, you can simply just bend at the waist and try and arch and round that back a little bit. Round it, not arch it. So just some simple little stretches we can do. All right, 10 more seconds and we're getting into round 2 here. So we're gonna focus on that reach and pull. We're gonna start with our right side, reaching up across our head and bringing it down. Feet shoulder width or a little wider than shoulder width. A nice base underneath of us. And here we go. We're gonna start with reach and pull. So we're gonna go up and then down, focusing on tightening that oblique. Imagine you're reaching up above and grabbing something and pulling it down. So if you're reaching up to that top shelf of the cabinets in your kitchen or in the bathroom, you're trying to grab the light bulbs because you have a burnt one out, like I did earlier this week. Imagine you're reaching up, grabbing it, pulling it down. All right, next one, we're grabbing our pillow, and we're gonna move to the floor if we can. As you're here, start with the left side, place the pillow, back touch the floor, grab pillow, and change it. You go at your pace here. My advice is, as you first begin to do these, start off kind of slow. We do want to have a little bit of a lean, engaging that core, so taking our shoulders back, behind our hips, engaging that core. If you sit straight up, that's great too. If you're gonna sit straight up, make sure you have that core engaged. All right, great job. We're gonna get back to standing or in our wheelchairs again. We're gonna do that knees to elbow. And we're just starting off. We're gonna start on our right foot, bringing our left knee up to the elbows. Remember to stretch it out. Ten more seconds. Here we're gonna go right back. This side, we're gonna start focusing on the left side on the reach and pull. Going overhead, coming back down. Yesterday I was talking to, we got 5 seconds here. And we're gonna switch it up back to the ground. Yesterday I was talking to a buddy of mine. He does water skiing. He's a paraplegic and he's a world-class athlete. He was sharing with me a lot of the exercise that he does. Once again, starting on the left side, touch the side, grab pillow, change sides. He does a lot of planks and a lot of push-ups to engage his core during the off season. Planks are probably one of the most essential exercises that we can do. It engages way more than just your core. It engages your shoulders, glutes, hips. It's a very amazing exercise that we can do. So as we're not doing that today, I encourage you to look up some of those exercises with the planks and put those into your exercise routine. So as you're doing cores during that day, planks are a good one to do. All right, great job, guys. Moving back up. This time we're bringing right knee to elbows, standing, planting that left foot, making that our foundational spot. We're gonna come up. Oh, I'm not reaching it out. If you keep a tight core during these exercises, it's a lot easier to balance. Got it off today. 5 more seconds. All right, back into reach and pull. We're focusing on right side again. Starting off with third round of this. So feet slightly wider than shoulder width. Nice foundation. Focusing on those obliques. Engaging that core. I am sweating. Ten more seconds. Here, we're gonna grab our throw pillows, head back to the floor. This time we're gonna start with pillow on the right side. When you place these down, you wanna try and get it at your hips, if not a little bit behind your hips, focusing on that rotation. All right, here we go. By putting it behind your hips, it forces you to engage those obliques and those core muscles just a little bit more. And you get that sweat rolling just a little bit more. You guys are doing awesome. Got 5 more seconds here. For round 4, when we get into round 4, I encourage you to speed it up a little bit. Try and push yourself. All right, let's go back to knees to elbows. Right side again. Sorry, left side. Right foot foundation. But on round 4, let's speed it up a little bit. Go a little faster, push yourself. Get breathing heavy if you want to. Let's see what you're capable of. Ten more seconds. Reach and pulls. Overhead. As we get into round 3, some of the advanced moves, these are optional. You do not have to do these, but I'm just giving you some options if you want to try something a little harder than the others that we did today. 5 more seconds. All right, hand back down. Once again, pillow on the right side. Moving a little faster this time. Last week we worked on foundation, that's stability. This week's all about core, but they go hand in hand. Our core strength helps with our stability and our balance. When you walk, when you're rolling, those muscles that you're using as to control your posture, control your gait, control how fast or how strong, what hill you can get up, it all comes from core. So these muscles are very, very important. You guys are doing awesome. 5 more seconds. And we're back into that knees to elbows. All right, last time. Good job, guys. Knees to elbows. Standing on our left foot. Bringing right knee to elbows. If you can, go fast. If not, go at the pace you feel comfortable. Here we go. Remember to engage your core. Five more seconds. Next week is all about cardio. And we're going to be really getting into a lot of those fast movements. That knees to elbow one. It's great for cardio as well. All right, moving into round 3, our advanced moves. Once again, these are optional. You don't have to do them. I encourage you to try them. So round 3, seated oblique towel pulls. I have towel pull. If you have a towel, use it. If not, if you have a resistance band of sorts, you can use that as well. I'll show you that in a second. V-sit twists, very similar to what we just did with the towel or with the pillow, but no pillow this time. We're just going to be touching the floor. Also, our feet will be off the ground during this one. Alternating side lunge toe touches. I'll demonstrate that one. But Daniel, I'm going to encourage you on this one too. If you have when we get to this exercise, if you have a way of modifying this, please chime in and let us know or show us a way of doing this. And V-sit bicycle. There's 2 ways we're going to do this. One, for those who are ambulatory, have great use of our legs, we're going to show how to do that one. For those of us who are wheelies, I'm going to show you how to do that one with your arms instead as you're still engaging that core. All right, so seated oblique towel pulls. As you see, I have a resistance band above me. This is also can be used as a towel. But you want to find a nice anchor point. So whether it's in a door, close the door, anchor the towel in there, you can do that. But here we are coming with it. Towel is behind our head. We're coming down. We're pulling that into our obliques. I'm going to focus on one side for 30 seconds, and then we're going to shift to the other side for 30 seconds. These are advanced moves. You're adding resistance to those obliques. So here in about 5 seconds, we're going to get going. For those of you who don't have the towel right now and you want to try these and you're in that seated position, whether you're on the floor, if you're on the floor and you're doing these, come out in front of you, bring your feet up off the ground, and we're just doing this. We're going to bring it down. We're going to focus on using those crunches, on those obliques. All right. We can get into some other ones next time we do core. But we're just doing this. We're stretching it out, and then we're engaging it. Okay, so for those of you who don't have that towel anchored up and ready to go. But, for 30 seconds on the right side, I'm going to switch and go 30 seconds on the left side. We're only doing 1 round of these, 1 minute each exercise. All right, and switch. Posture is important, so remember to keep that tight core engaged. Don't be rounding the back. Don't be slouching. 10 more seconds. Next, we're going to get into V-sit twist. 10-second break in between. All right. V-sit twist. Feet are going to be off the ground. This is a very fast motion. We're just touching the sides, touching each side of us, alternating each side, but for 1 minute. So if you want to cross your feet, you're going to hold your feet out in front, you can do that. If you get tired and you can't keep doing it, just sit with your feet off the ground and sit in that V position. I'm sweating. This is hard. I love this. All right, here we go. Just touching the sides. Focusing on that twist and keeping the core engaged. You're gonna feel this in your core and your hips. You're doing wonderful. Keep it up. 10 more seconds. Next, we're going to get into alternating lunge toe touches. Good job. This is a side lunge. So if you are not comfortable doing the side lunges, we're going to show some different variations of doing this one. But this can depending on the muscles that we isolate and that we use, you can either focus on doing quads and legs and glutes, or we can focus on core. This week, we want to focus on core. So make sure that while you're doing this exercise, you are engaging that core. Okay, we're going to start feet wider, much wider than shoulder width apart. we're going to get into that lunge position, right? But what we're doing here is as we're lunging, we're reaching down, touching the ground by our foot, by our feet. Daniel, if you see any way of doing this exercise from a wheelchair or seated position, I would love your input during this time and/or your demonstration.
Okay. So, if you can't stand very well, what I would probably do is like find maybe like a nearby seat or couch or something you can hold on to if you have a hard time standing, and just like maybe like lean and try to bend over. And if you have like something else like on the other side, maybe like your wheelchair or anything else, you can just go back and rotate with one hand, and then use the other hand to hold on while you go back and forth.
That's amazing, Daniel. Thank you for that.
Or if you can't stand at all, you can sit on the ground, have your legs like I don't know if you can see it. Have your legs out, spread it out. You could just stretch like this, like have your opposite hand go one hand to your opposite leg, and just rotate back and forth if you can't stand. So that's what I would do.
I love it. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
I love those variations. All right, last one is V-sit bicycle. When we get into the cool down, Dan, I'd love for you to kind of share your story a little bit and what you're looking forward to doing here in the coming years. All right? Sorry to put you on the spot like that. But just share a little bit about what the sport you do and what you love to do, all right, and what you're looking forward to. Because I think you're graduating soon, right? Heading off to college in a couple years?
Yeah, in a couple of years. I'll be a junior after this year.
Very nice. Awesome.
Yeah. So I play wheelchair basketball, obviously for RHI. I've been playing for about 10 years. After this year will be my 11th year. And I started when I was, I think I started when I was 6. So I'm 16 right now. And yeah, it's just been a great experience doing a sport that I love and seeing other people with like my type of disability or woes playing the sport they love. And because a lot of kids with disabilities probably go to public schools and they can't play for their high school team or whatever. So I think playing through adaptive sports is really helpful for a lot of people who can't do what other people can do. So, and I just love doing it.
Absolutely, Daniel. RHI Adaptive Sports has brought a lot of independence and life to so many people, whether it be through wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis, or rugby. There's opportunities everywhere. Some of the camps that are coming up, hopefully, water ski clinics that are coming up, bocce ball clinics, basketball clinics. You know, there's always ways to get involved in your community and doing the things that we can here in Indianapolis. And RHI Sports is one of the best ones we can do. So take a minute, go click on their website, their Facebook and Instagram, check them out, see what they have. But yeah, Daniel, you're right. That wheelchair basketball has brought you a lot of confidence, independence, and mobility.
Yes.
That's awesome. All right. V-sit bicycles. I just did a few of those, but what we want to do here is as we're in that seated position in that V-sit, you know, we're focusing on, keep your hands out, stay balanced, right? But we're just getting those legs engaged, moving. We're focusing on lower abs here, lower core. If you're not comfortable doing that one, a modified version, I've seen a lot of the wheelchair athletes that I race with and compete with, they have to, in their hand cycles, they have to do this motion, so per bicycle. So if your feet are out in front of you, lean back a little bit, engage that core, and if you just want to use your arms, that same motion is going to get your upper body rocking a little bit and forcing us to engage our core. So whether you're doing it from the feet or the hands, Both work very well. But that's just a slight advanced move for you. Now we're going to get into cool downs. I'm sweating. I am tired. I am thirsty. Hydrate. Drink some water, people. Drink some water. Cool down is just as important as our warm up. As we've just used, isolated, and really engaged those muscles, now it's important to stretch those muscles, allowing a lot of that blood flow, that oxygen that's in those muscles, that lactate acid that's stored up in those muscles to be released, and our body to consume that and use that, allowing for growth and strength to come into those muscles. So first, we have grab the sky and touch the ground. These kind of go hand in hand. So as we do these, we're going to reach up and grab the sky, and we're going to go slowly into touching the ground. And for this, we want to keep our feet shoulder width, a little bit wider than shoulder width. Nice, comfortable foundation underneath of us. But what we're going to do is we're going to reach up, we're going to grab the sky, stretch that core, and we're going to come in, keeping your legs tight. We're bending at the hips here. We're going to come down and grab the ground. If you can touch the ground, great. Let your fingertips grab, or let your fingertips touch the ground, raise the grass, and we're kind of arch or roll round the back and stand up slowly. And we're right back into grabbing the sky, bending at the hips, and touching the ground. Round the back, stand up. And we're going up, we're breathing in. And when we're going down, we're breathing out. When you're down here, breathe in, take a deep breath. And then as we come up and we're rounding our back, we're breathing out. Do 2 more of these. Grab the sky and down. We're stretching in our downward motion here. We're stretching the hamstrings and the glutes and the calf. We're rounding our back, breathing out. Last one. From here, we're going to go into lunge and twist and down. And lunge and twist, it's not a strength exercise, so we're not isolating it, we're stretching stuff. So as we're coming into this, stand back up. We're gonna go down on one knee. We're gonna stretch our other one out. We want to have both hands down in front of us. This is kind of an advanced yoga position, so we're just gonna stretch, and we're focusing on stretching the hips out and stretching the core out. I'm gonna come back down. Stretch the other side. And down again. And back up. And we'll switch sides. If you can get a lean into it and really stretch those hips, works really well. Feels really good. I'm a little tighter on one side than the other side. I'm gonna do these more often. Switch. Last one is going to be a cobra and downward dog. This one's great as we're laying on the floor, belly down, face down. We're going to push our shoulders up, keeping our hips on the floor. This one is really great for stretching out the core, stretching out those abs. At 2 minutes, and we will be done. Just sit here in this position. Allow your body to relax. If you can go into that downward dog, we're going to go into that here in just a second. So keep your toes planted. Take your hips up to the sky. Try and push your heels into the ground. From here, we're going to go a couple seconds. We're going to go back into the cobra. And one last stretch. All right, come down. Great job today, guys. This week, if you can go back and do that foundational exercise we did last week, try it, do it. Great job today. Do the core a couple times a week if you can. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. And we'll see you guys next week. Next week is cardio. So be prepared to sweat and move. All right. Thanks, everyone.